Today's FAFO episode is glorious and features a Trump-loving MAGA man who thought he was delivering the sermon of the century on tariffs, only to find out he truly, spectacularly, royally messed up. Because that great America they were promised, it's turning into the exact opposite. And he's feeling it right in his wallet.
After all the tariffs are calculated, Walmart has to pay that tariff in order to release the product from U.S. Customs. And this is where shit starts to get interesting. Walmart, as a big company, is not just going to eat the cost of those tariffs, right? So they raise the price on the product to cover their purchase cost, the tariffs cost, and their profit margin. And that's where Democrats say the prices are going to be passed to you, and they just stop looking at the process. But let's keep going. Let's say it was a Bluetooth speaker. Because of the tariffs, the one that came from China is way more expensive now. But the price of the one made here in America stayed the same because there are no tariffs if you make your product in America.
See, this guy marched in ready to lecture us on how tariffs really work, puffed up with that Fox-fed confidence, until an educated and well-informed American decided to give him a free masterclass. And by masterclass, I mean a public undressing in economics, point by point, proving that Daddy Trump didn't just mislead them, he built his entire brand on openly loving the uneducated.
In this video, we take a look at this loyal MAGA Trump supporter who regrets voting for Donald Trump after tariffs hit him hard. It looks like everyone on the MAGA train is finding out bitterly at every point in time. So let's watch the following video. Then we'll come back here and discuss further about it. But before we watch the video, if you haven't yet liked this video, kindly like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Let's watch the video together.
True, there are no tariffs on American-made products, but there are two blaring problems with your little scenario. For one, there is no Bluetooth speaker or hardly any electronics sold in this country that don't have Chinese or foreign-made components. Meaning, even if final assembly happened in the United States, the parts were shipped in from outside the United States, making them susceptible to tariffs. But that's not even the most glaring problem of your scenario. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that you're right. There is a 100% American-made Bluetooth speaker on sale next to a 100% Chinese-made Bluetooth speaker. Okay? Now, let's say the day before the tariffs, both speakers were on sale at Walmart for $10. The day after tariffs take effect, the Chinese-made speaker has to sell for $15, let's say. Here's where your scenario starts to crumble. You are omitting a very crucial point in this entire situation. You are leaving out the fact that the United States of America is a capitalistic society. The whole point of any company is to maximize profits, right? So, if the Chinese-made speaker is forced to increase their retail price and they have to sell for $15, there is not a company in this country that wouldn't then raise their price from $10 to $14.50. They still undercut their closest competitor, but they're maximizing their profits.
And the saddest part? These MAGA diehards are so deep in the brainwash cycle, they can feel the pain, see the evidence, and still praise the misery maker, clapping along while the greatest president of all time turns America into a global punchline. Picture it. Our MAGA man struts in like he's about to teach a Harvard-level seminar. He's got that, I watched a YouTube video, so now I'm an economist glow. He's talking about protecting American jobs, punishing China, and making the economy roar. You'd think he was auditioning for a White House position, or at least a guest spot on Newsmax.
In fact, if it was a big enough electronics company manufacturing this American-made Bluetooth speaker, they would be legally obligated to maximize the profits for their shareholders. They would have no choice but to raise their prices. So, at the end of the day, even in your dream scenario that we manufacture everything here, to say nothing of the fact that we don't have the workforce to do that, we don't have the infrastructure to do that, we don't even have enough hours in the day to manufacture every component of everything that we sell in the United States. But in your dream scenario, even if an entirely American-made product is not susceptible to tariffs, they are susceptible to capitalism. They will maximize their profits while undercutting their competitors every single time. And who loses in that scenario? You and me, the consumer. Because yeah, we could buy the cheaper option, $14.50 compared to $15, but 2 days ago, before the tariffs, they were both 10. So either way, we're getting screwed. That's why tariffs suck.
But before he could wrap up his patriotic TED Talk, in steps the educated and well-informed American. Calm, collected, no party stickers, no cable news talking points, just facts, data, and receipts. And the second they speak, the mood changes. You can almost hear "proud to be an American" screech to a halt and get replaced by Britney Spears' "Oops, I did it again." Educated American. You know tariffs are just taxes, right? Taxes that you pay every time you buy a car, a washing machine, even the food in your fridge. They go on.
I voted for Trump and I'm sorry. I am uneducated. I grew up in public school system. I believed anything a teacher and a principal told me, and I didn't question it, and I walked in a straight line, and I didn't use critical thinking skills, okay? I didn't read Project 2025. I have a disabled child. I'm a single mom of 3. I believed what he said in his campaigns, and I fucked up, and I'm sorry, okay? Now, we're wanting accountability across the board. It starts with the people like me that made a mistake. I'm admitting it. The first step to progressing in anything is admitting that there is a problem. There was a problem in my judgment. I did not do my due diligence in my research, and I voted in a system that I had not enough awareness and knowledge of until shit started hitting the fan.
Farmers lost billions when China hit back with retaliatory tariffs. Soybeans rotted in silos. Steel prices spiked, squeezing small manufacturers. Mom and pop shops had to lay off workers just to stay afloat. And that great American comeback Trump bragged about, it was just a giant invoice addressed to you. You could see it in the MAGA man's face, like someone had just told him the tooth fairy works for the IRS. And yet, he doesn't budge. Because here's the MAGA survival mechanism. When reality knocks, they lock the door. Instead of, wow, maybe I was wrong, it's the pain at the grocery store means we're winning. Instead of, this is getting expensive, it's, that's the price of freedom. You'll see them standing in the breadline Trump built, still chanting greatest president, like they're waiting for a prize that never comes.
Congratulations, MAGA. Your vote for Trump is the reason why senior citizens will be kicked out of their nursing homes. Before you flood my comment section screaming fake news, I'm going to provide some verifiable facts. Google's free. You can go look at the bill. 60% of nursing home residents rely on Medicaid to cover their care. That is a fact. And Trump's new tax plan, it cuts the provider tax by 41%. This slashes how much support states receive from the government for nursing homes. That's a 41% funding cut. That is a fact.
And tariffs aren't the only flip-flop. Remember Trump's deportation campaigns? The wall, the chants, the rallies? Fast forward to now, he's publicly saying, hey, maybe those people we kicked out? Yeah. Could you come back? We actually need you. The whiplash from that one statement could snap a neck. But MAGA supporters, they'll spin it as part of his 4D chess plan that's apparently too sophisticated for mere mortals to understand. It's like your boss firing half the staff, then calling you at midnight asking if you know anyone who's hiring. And instead of saying, wait, what? You clap and tell him he's a genius. Here's the thing. This isn't just about one MAGA man getting roasted over tariffs. It's about a movement so deep in denial, they'd rather sink with the ship than admit the captain is drunk at the wheel. Trump once said, I love the uneducated. And that wasn't a slip. It was the business plan. An informed voter might ask, wait, why am I paying more for groceries, gas, and clothes? But an uninformed, emotionally manipulated voter? That's a dream customer. They'll buy whatever you're selling, even if it's making their life worse. And Trump knows it. That's why even when he admits mistakes, whether it's tariffs, immigration, or a policy that clearly tanked, they'll frame it as strategy. If he said the sun rises in the west now, MAGA shops would be selling West is Best t-shirts by morning. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is watching America play out like a tragic comedy. Countries that used to see the U.S. as a model now see it as a cautionary tale. And MAGA folks, they're still chanting, still clapping, still convinced that paying more for less is patriotic. So here's the question. How many more grocery store sticker shocks, job losses, and oops, my bad policy reversals will it take before MAGA fans realize they're not passengers on the Trump train? They're the cargo. And the worst part? They paid for the ticket and the fuel.
Welcome back. So in this video, we took a look at this loyal MAGA Trump supporter who regrets voting for Donald Trump after tariffs hit him hard. It looks like everyone on the MAGA train is finding out bitterly at every point in time. I like the way people are finding out and regretting their vote at every point in time, policy after policy. Now, some MAGA Trump supporters thought that tariffs will hurt companies outside the United States and promote U.S. companies. Meanwhile, it is not so. There are some companies in the United States who are heavily affected by the same tariffs. Now, some raw materials are outsourced from the United States of America. So if you are running such a company where your raw materials are coming outside of the United States, it means that all the raw materials that you will use to produce your finished goods in the United States will be taxed. So tariffs will be imposed on the raw materials when they are coming into the country. So definitely that is going to push up your cost, and that will heavily affect your business as a company owner in the United States of America. Now, even if you don't outsource any of your raw materials from the United States, you get all your raw materials within the United States and produce. So in that case, there is no tariffs on your raw materials. It means you produce at the same cost and then bring out the same output. There is a certain company owner who has experienced this in the United States. Now, the name of the company is Montana Knife Company, and the CEO said that the tariffs on his final produce will be zero. Meanwhile, in the end, the tariffs on his final product had shifted his cost up. I'll put the video up here so that you can check it for yourself. The name of the company is Montana Knife Company. So in the end, his raw materials were outsourced from other countries other than the United States. So tariffs were imposed on the raw material, and in the end, the final produce, the cost of the final produce increased. So the tariffs that he thought that he would be exempted from, it was imposed on the raw material. I'll post the video up here for you to check it. Also, an illustration was made in this video where he stated that taking into consideration where none of the raw materials is outsourced, but everything is within the United States of America, even in that scenario, if the cost of, let's say, a product from a different company or a different country is $10 and another company from the United States is also $10, if tariffs are imposed on the company that is from outside, and then let's say the cost now moves from $10 to $15, the company in the United States will not keep the price of the product at $10. Since the United States is a capitalist society or economy, they will increase their price from the $10 to somewhere $14. And in the end, the same product that should have been sold at $10, because of the tariffs, you are now paying $14 for it. So in the end, the tariff will affect as final consumers. And I really like this illustration that he made. Let me know what you also think about all these in the comment section below. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and your family on other social media platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click the subscribe button down here. Click on the subscribe button. Click also on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.